Good morning. Ooh, is there something on my lens? I think there is. All right, that might be a little bit better. Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to my channel. This week's video has really kind of perplexed me. I made out a list at the beginning of the year of different videos and like a schedule, a filming schedule. But for some reason, I failed to plan for this particular week. So I was really struggling this morning trying to figure out a video that would be interesting to my viewers, mostly my mom, my dad, my sisters, and I love you guys for it. However, I still want you guys to enjoy watching my videos. I don't want you to just watch them out of familial obligation. So I'm trying to figure out what would be a good topic that I know a lot about, I have good information about, and that's interesting. So what I think I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and get my stuff together, like get the house kind of picked up and straightened up, get myself kind of picked up and straightened up, then come back to the camera and see what happens. All right, let's do it. Let's do it. So I wasn't even in the shower yet, and I had a flash of brilliance. And I was thinking, maybe I could do, like, take you guys through a day with me where I share some of the little, like, things that I do throughout the day. They're not really hacks, they're just things that I do to live what I feel like is a better or a good version, a best version, whatever, the version of my life that I am currently living. Because I was talking to my best friend, Hillary, on Marco Polo. I don't know if any of you guys use that app, but it's super fun and it's like little video messages that you leave for each other. And I was thinking, why does Hillary watch my messages to her? Because I don't really say anything that's of importance, but it's because we're friends and we talk and we share things. So here's my first little thing. As you can tell, I'm feeling a little bit under the weather today. So when that happens, I wake up and I come over, and I always start the day with at least finishing off, you know, my, 22 ounces of water before I'm like quote unquote allowed to have my cappuccino. But today, instead of having a cappuccino, first thing what I did was I took some apple cider vinegar and I put it in some hot water and made like a little tea kind of thing. So here, let me just show you what that looks like. So here's the apple cider vinegar that I use. Like, I know that you have to do the one with the mother because that is kind of all the good bacteria that's floating down at the bottom that makes things get better. But what I do with this is I heat up the hot water in the kettle. Then I take between one of these spoon sizes. So these are like the normal spoon sizes. These are kind of over on this side, the bigger spoon sizes. And I just pour 1 teaspoon to 1 tablespoon. Tablespoon's a lot, I don't do a tablespoon. I pour 1 teaspoon-ish of apple cider vinegar into hot water. And this is my mug. I don't honestly know how big it is, but it can't be more than 1.5 cups. So 1 teaspoon to about, what would that be, 12 ounces of water. And that's the first thing that my throat gets in the morning. And I don't know the science behind it, but it feels so much better. And whenever I do this, whatever throat issues I'm having seem to go away within 3 or 4 days. So I never get sick. I just have this little bit of symptomology here, and then it gets better. That's my first tip. Okay, so this is my bathroom sink, but before you think I'm too gross, I do this every day, almost every time I brush my hair. I clean out my brush. I never use other people's brushes, or very rarely, 1, because I'm not in college anymore and I'm the only girl who lives in my house. But 2, because I don't think most people clean out their brushes, and it's just gross because look how dirty your hair is. So here, I cleaned out all the hair, and now I don't know if you can see, but there's still little bits of dust in there, and we're gonna go take care of those now. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna pour in our water. Whatever is enough to kind of cover your brush. I think that was about 1 quart or 4 cups. And then I'm gonna pour in maybe 1/4 cup of vinegar. I'm gonna take my little brush, just try to get it in there so that it's all submerged. to take off the nastiness. We're gonna take the brush out. We're just gonna bring it over to the sink. We're gonna rinse it out. Looks pretty good. And since we don't want it laying on the towel with our dishes, we're gonna let it rest and air dry right there. The next thing that I do to help me live my best version of the day is a brain dump. So today is Monday and this is a brain dump for the whole week. So let me spin you around and you can see what I'm talking about. This is my brain dump over here. So what I do is I go through and I'm planning which days I'm going to get each of these things done. So now I have finished out putting or assigning each task a different day, and I just have to go through and kind of assign them over here in my calendar so that when I wake up and look at my calendar each day, then I know what I'm doing and I don't have to make a plan because it's already made for me. My past self has helped my future self to focus. You know, I knew I liked the look of that past self. She seemed pretty cool. Thank you, past self. You really are a wonderful gal. Okay, my next tip is the reason that I brought you down to my dungeon here. This is where the laundry is done, and it is also where the ironing board is. So I know that most people don't have an ironing board anymore and they just have a steamer, but I don't have a steamer. I have an ironing board. So what I like to do is iron my pillowcases, which sounds super bougie and super, I don't know, like, lady, do you not have anything better to do with your day? However, it makes me so happy when I go look at my bed and the end of my pillowcases are not all janky. And so, I don't know, it helps me to live my best life by seeing a beautifully made bed. The next thing that I like to do to live my best life, to just have a nicer day, I spend a lot of time alone. My kids go to baby school, I think you guys know, and like today I spent a lot of time on the phone making appointments, but the rest of the day, you know, I'm doing things like taking care of my house, taking care of my body, that sort of thing. So I'm alone by myself a lot. So one of the things I like to do is read, but you know, you can't really read throughout the day without sitting down on the couch with a nice cup of tea and reading. But one of the things I like to do when I can't read a book to keep company and feel like my friends are around is I listen to podcasts. So I have several that I highly recommend. The very first number one is Young House Love has a podcast. John and Sherry are friends in my head, and I'm pretty sure they're so sweet that if you ask them, hey, are you friends with Meagan and Eilleen? They would say yes. Number two, I really like Pop Culture Happy Hour. I don't always love the topics that they choose. So like sometimes the movies that they pick or, you know, the books that they review, I'm not really that into. But at this point, again, I kind of feel like it helps keep my pulse on, you know, what's going on in the zeitgeist of 2019 America. But it's also just like, I know the host, I know Linda, so I like it. I do like the Gold Digger podcast as well, and Andrew Jenks' podcast, What Really Happened. It's produced by The Rock, and Andrew Jenks is the guy who hosts it, and he just, you can tell he puts so much research into each podcast, and he tells it like a story, even though it is very heavily researched, although you can clearly tell, like, he's very honest when he's giving his opinion and what could have happened versus what the facts say. So I really enjoy that podcast as well. And all of those I listen to around the house while I'm doing work, folding clothes, ironing, emptying the dishwasher, just whatever. There you have it. Some tips and tricks and recommendations from Meagan and Eilleen. Thank you guys so much for tuning into the video this week. Like I said at the beginning, I was having a little bit of trouble kind of coming up with content to provide this week that was interesting and kind of served my audience well, but then I realized my best friend and I go back and forth all the time sharing these kind of
tips, and I thought that would be kind of a fun video. So if you have a tip or trick that you kind of follow every day, be it cleaning or like a book recommendation or an audiobook or whatever it is, you know, let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and this week's video shout out goes to Gimme Mo, who always watches my videos, sometimes twice. Thank you so much. It really means a lot to me, and I love you for it, girl. All right, until next week, later Gators. Bye. Way.